Once upon a time, in a small village by the sea, there lived a fisherman named Marcus. He was a quiet man, known for his patience and steady hands. But Marcus had one problem. He struggled with relationships. His wife often complained that he never listened. His friends said he was too quick to anger, and even his children sometimes avoided him because he seemed distant. One evening, after a long and lonely day, Marcus sat by the shore, staring at the waves, wondering why his connections with others felt so weak. That night, an old philosopher named Lucius visited the village. He was a Stoic, a man who believed in controlling emotions and focusing on what truly mattered. The villagers gathered around him, eager to hear his wisdom. Marcus, curious and desperate for answers, sat in the front. Lucius spoke about the principles of Stoicism, how we cannot control others, only ourselves, how anger and frustration come from within, not from outside events, and how true strength lies in understanding, patience, and virtue. Marcus listened carefully. The next morning, he decided to apply these lessons to his own life. The first principle he focused on was control. He realized he had spent years trying to change his wife, his friends, even his children, instead of working on himself. So he stopped. When his wife spoke, he put down his tools and truly listened, without thinking of how to reply. He noticed how she softened when she felt heard. The second principle was acceptance. Marcus used to get angry when storms kept him from fishing, when his nets tore, or when his children didn't behave as he wanted. But Lucius had said, "The obstacle is the way." Instead of resisting what he couldn't change, Marcus began to accept it. When his son forgot to mend the nets, Marcus didn't shout. He simply sat with him and showed him how to do it properly. Over time, his son began to respect him more. The third principle was perspective. Marcus had always assumed the worst in people. If a neighbor didn't greet him, he thought they disliked him. If his wife was quiet, he assumed she was upset with him. But Stoicism taught him that we often suffer more in imagination than in reality. So he started giving people the benefit of the doubt. He realized his neighbor was just shy, and his wife's silence was often just tiredness, not anger. Months passed, and the villagers began to notice a change in Marcus. He was calmer, kinder, more present. His wife smiled more. His children sought his company. Even his friends remarked how easy it was to talk to him now. One evening, Lucius returned to the village. Seeing Marcus, he nodded in approval. "You have learned well," he said. Marcus smiled. "I didn't change the world. I changed how I see it. And that changed everything." The lesson was clear. Building better relationships isn't about controlling others or demanding perfection. It's about mastering our own minds, accepting what we cannot change, and choosing virtue over anger. The Stoics knew this centuries ago, and it remains true today. Whether with family, friends, or strangers, the key lies not in their actions, but in our reactions. And so, Marcus continued to live by these principles, not perfectly, but persistently. Some days were easy, others hard. But with each effort, his relationships grew stronger, his heart lighter. The waves still crashed upon the shore. The storm still came, but Marcus was no longer at their mercy. He had found inner strength. The Stoic way. If you wish to build better relationships, remember Marcus' journey. Start with yourself. Listen more, react less. Accept what you cannot change. Choose understanding over anger. And in time you will see the world, and the people in it, differently. Not because they have changed, but because you have. That is the power of Stoic wisdom. That is the path to stronger, deeper, and more meaningful connections.